Next వస్తున్న panel topic is real estate development and community impact. బిల్డింగ్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ అనే టాపిక్ మీద ప్యానెల్ జరగబోతోంది. మనం కట్టడాలు కడతాం, భవనాలు నిర్మిస్తాం, ల్యాండ్ కొంటాము, అందరికీ అమ్ముతాము. కానీ ఎలా దీని ఇంపాక్ట్ అనేది మన సమాజం మీద, సొసైటీ మీద ఎంతవరకు ఉంటుంది, హౌ ఆర్ వి ఇంపాక్టింగ్ ద కమ్యూనిటీ అండ్ హౌ టు బిల్డ్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ అనే టాపిక్ మీద ఇప్పుడు మాట్లాడడానికి వస్తున్నారు. ముందుగా లెట్ మీ వెల్కమ్ ద మోడరేటర్ ఆన్ టు ద డయస్. ముందుగా Mr. K. Sridhar Reddy Garu, the Secretary General of NAREDCO Telangana, వారిని వేదికపైకి ఆహ్వానిస్తున్నాము to meet the moderator. Sridhar Reddy sir, we welcome you onto the dais. With vast experience in developing residential and commercial and layout projects in Hyderabad and Visakhapatnam, Mr. Sridhar Reddy is a prominent leader in the real estate sector. Currently serving as the Secretary General of NAREDCO Telangana, he has held several key positions in the organization, contributing significantly to the growth and reputation of real estate developers. It is now my honor and privilege to welcome our first panelist for today, an architect, Mr. Mahadeep Singh Taparji, we welcome you onto the dais. He is the Managing Director and Chief Consultant of ADAPT, a strategic urban planning consulting company. With over 25 years of experience in urban planning, Mr. Mahadeep Singh has led transformative projects like master plans for Hyderabad and Bangalore and innovative townships across India. An alumnus of CEPT Ahmedabad, he is a gold medalist, Cornell University and NUS Singapore. He brings global expertise to sustainable urban development. A published author and regular speaker, he is shaping the future of cities with strategic insights and technological innovation. Welcome, sir. Thank you. Glad for having you on the panel today. It is now my privilege and honor to welcome the chairman of Vamsiram Builders, Sri Subba Reddy Garu, onto the dais. I will be moving on to the next panelist. I request Sri Ashok Swaminathan Garu from Modi Builders to please join us on the dais, sir. Thank you so much for joining us today and being a part of our panel. Please give him a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. ఇప్పుడు నేను రియల్ ఎస్టేట్లో మరొక దిగ్గజాన్ని పరిచయం చేయబోతున్నాను. శ్రీ రవి వర్మ గారు, ద హెచ్ఆర్ఏ మెంబర్ అండ్ పార్ట్నర్ ఇన్ ఎలిమెంటల్ రియాలిటీ. వారిని కూడా వేదికపైకి రావాల్సిందిగా ఆహ్వానిస్తున్నాను. రవి వర్మ గారు ఈయన రియల్ ఎస్టేట్లో ఉన్నత శిఖరాలను అధిరోహించి 20 ఏళ్ల సుదీర్ఘ ప్రయాణంలో ఎన్నో రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ వెంచర్స్తో ఇండస్ట్రీకి మార్గనిర్దేశం చేశారు. కస్టమర్ల అభిరుచి మేరకు వెంచర్లను తీసుకొస్తూ ఔరా అనిపించుకున్నారు. ఆయన ఎవరో ఇప్పటికి మీకు అర్థమై ఉంటుంది. ఈయనే 100% కరెక్ట్, పర్ఫెక్ట్ పిన్ కోడ్ ఫౌండర్, హెచ్ఆర్ఏ మాజీ జాయింట్ సెక్రటరీ రవి వర్మ గారు. వీ వెల్కమ్ యూ సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ ఫర్ జాయినింగ్ అస్ ఆన్ ది డయస్ టుడే. వీరందరికీ కూడా ఒకసారి గట్టిగా చప్పట్లు కొట్టండి. Real Estate Development and Community Impact panel will start now.
Good afternoon, friends. Mandeep ji, you are expert in green building, you are expert in carbon neutralization. Can you advise the developers about development in greenfield areas where we can reduce the carbon print and minimize the environmental damages? What are the precautions a developer should take? Whatever you are comfortable with. Audience are Telugu and in English.
Thank you so much, NAREDCO and the other organizers for this opportunity. Sridhar Garu, thank you. My friend Ashok Garu, I'm meeting you after a long time and great to meet you. The diversity of the panel is very important and I'm happy that NAREDCO is getting people from different backgrounds because real estate is not just buildings and buying and selling of land or built area. That is a fact and understanding which is dawning on all of us. So I'll use some uh, part of my talk will be in English and some in Telugu. Uh, the whole idea of uh, reducing carbon footprint is actually a very welcome uh, approach to look at real estate, which is normally seen as only for profit making. But we know that it requires a lot of construction material. First you level the land, then miru construction material vartaru, steel, cement and other things. Then when the building is finished, a lot of other material goes into it. Like nowadays, aluminium and glass and bathroom fittings, kitchen fittings, appliances, electrical appliances, motors. So if you look at real estate from two broad categories, one is land related real estate, one is built up real estate. Both take a lot of resources from earth, and the process of the development also has some negative impact on the earth. We know that. But without that, we cannot build the housing or build our cities and the infrastructure. So I come back to the point of approach to real estate development is, can we use green products? Can the process of construction or real estate development be green? Then after the project is completed, if the management and operation of the facility is also green. By green means not just plants and trees and all that. It means efficiency in consumption of energy, which is power, of water reuse. So I feel that for smaller buildings,
Sir, you
it
just
was a
need to
challenge.
mic a little closer,
Yeah,
sir. Sorry
thank
for
you.
bothering.
Sorry. For the smaller buildings and plots, కొంచెం ఛాలెంజింగ్ గా అనిపించచ్చు. But for any medium and large builder, it is imperative ante chala important undi that all the builders, everybody in the building and real estate community is more sensitized to develop their projects as per set guidelines. Some guidelines are there. Adi follow cheste automatically మీరు ఆ క్వాలిఫికేషన్ కూడా దొరుకుతుంది మీకు. And you would be psychologically satisfied నేను తక్కువ డ్యామేజ్లో నా బిజినెస్ చేస్తున్నాను. ఇది చాలా సింపుల్ లాంగ్వేజ్లో నేను చెప్తున్నాను. దేర్ ఆర్ రేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్స్ ఉన్నాయి, గ్రీన్ ప్రొడక్ట్స్ సర్టిఫైడ్ ఉన్నాయి. సో మనం ఇఫ్ యూ ఫాలో దోస్ ప్రొసీజర్స్, ఆటోమేటికలీ యూ విల్ బీ రెడ్యూసింగ్ ద కార్బన్ ఫుట్ ప్రింట్. టు కీప్ ఇట్ ప్రిసైజ్ అట్లా.
Ashok, company is like that. Government infrastructure కన్నా ముందు వీళ్ళు వెళ్ళి పర్మిషన్ తీసుకుంటారు. I wanted to know, how do you identify those areas? How do you define this particular area is for villas, particular area is for high rise, or particular area for affordable luxury? How do you define these things?
Thank you, Sridhar. Thank you, Raj News. Thank you, HRA. Thank you, Naredco, for having given me this opportunity to come on to this elite panel and this elite platform. Yes, I'm Ashok Swaminathan, Director of Modi Builders. I've been in this business for nearly 32 years now. And we always have been focusing on affordable housing, single bedroom apartments, double bedroom apartments, small houses, mostly in the volume business game. Now, coming to the question that Sridhar asked me, saying that, how do you identify your lands for affordable housing? Now, the biggest input for any affordable housing project is, one, the cost of the land. So land has to be extremely inexpensive. Two, you have to design the project in such a way so that it is affordable for a person who is earning X salary. So when we used to do the business way back in 2000 to 2005, we would look at people earning around 30,000, 25,000 rupees salary, a husband and wife combination, and we used to make design a particular apartment for him, say 470 square feet or 600 square feet double bedroom apartment is what we used to make. Now, he said, how do you identify the land? So what we thought is, like, we never came to the west. We don't have a single project on the western side of Hyderabad. So we identified that the then Congress government was planning the outer ring road. So we went and picked up land parcels all along the outer ring road, which are still going on. We picked up like close to 10 to 12 different land parcels of 10 to 15 acres to 30, 40 acres. And that is where we do our projects as of now. So we visualize that the outer ring road is going to be the biggest growth engine. And apart from that, we also picked up in such places so that we are not on the highway perspective, because what happens is when you're bang on the highway, the costs go up. The land cost is higher. So we don't mind taking the second bit or the third bit, where there's a great reduction in the land price. So hence, we make it affordable and we pass the entire benefit that we get from the economies of scale of purchase, since we're doing 10, 12 projects, and the value of land that we have acquired at, we pass that benefit also to the customer, thereby being extremely competitive and useful for the buyers.
Yeah, Ravi Verma garu. Realtors, news channel and Narratco developers all are here. Advise us on automation and technology. Technology for marketing and automation for developers.
Great, sir. First of all, I would like to thank Narratco, HRA, and also Raj News for bringing in all synergies in single direction. So, getting back to your question, automation is of two folds. The basic level is about I want to be lazy or just need a comfort of operating a button. Second is about efficiency, where I reduce number of wirings, because if you basically see, most of our bedrooms have two switches, because you have to operate your switch right from next to your bed and while you are living. So if you actually detach that switch from a wall and make it an independent thing, that's when the automation basically starts. So automation, people assume, is expensive. It starts from as low as 75,000 rupees per apartment to as high as maybe 7 to 15 lakhs. Expensive ones are usually motors and the third-party products what you try to slink in. But of late, we have been spending a lot of time at Elemental understanding how do we actually make automation more functional than just comfort or luxury. Then I realized that a case study of a medical requirement. You are speaking about a senior living or your parents staying in a villa in a ground floor. Today there are watches, smart watches and other tools, rings and other stuff which actually identify fault detection. But that alert goes to the same phone which it is linked to, or the person. Assuming if you are not accessible to it, automation can actually call up the nearby doctor if you have already configured it. It can wish your parents on a birthday. It can do unlimited things. It's about how do you use it. So all these fitness equipments or other things, if they are integrated to the house and then they are programmed in as per your requirement, then I think one fault detection of a father in the ground floor, if same alert of a brain stroke goes at same time to the son in the bedroom, I think that's a priceless thing, and that will be a great contribution from a developer who believes that end buyer is also part of his family. So I think automation's opportunities are huge. Also at the same time, we should be careful in terms of what we ask for. Too much of data, too much of privacy loss. So you should always pick and choose. A lot of research will go into it. So I think automation on buyer side is this. In terms of developer related stuff, we have also worked in Singapore in delivering a PPVC model, pre-constructed volumetric construction, where one of the star hotels was built in some other country, delivered to US, like a Lego model, including beds, TV, everything. A 47-story, it was delivered in 13 months flat. And we also have few patents for India on locking and jointing techniques. I think gradually Godrej already started operating on bathroom pods, where they do rest of the house, but bathroom of a 22 functions is fit in. It comes like a single piece, go attach that bathroom, then you have your progress. I mean, a lot of nuisances go away, because finishes is a decent challenge for every developer. So I think automation will come to the customer in terms of functionality and advantages, and to the developer in terms of scale and pace.
How expensive is that?
I think on a scale, it will be 50 to 75 rupees higher. On brick model, it will be on par with a Maiwan if you are able to plan it efficiently and number of repetitions. It's the same story, provided your supply hub. Outer Ring Road, I think, will be a game changer for Hyderabad. Sir, every other city, even if I have to send something, it has a limitation of a container size. So if I have to do a big haul, doesn't mean I'll ship the whole haul there. I'll break it into Lego blocks of 18 and then send. End of the day, my limitation is that container size. So I think if Hyderabad decides that any side of Outer Ring Road, somebody puts a plant, then it's just about shipping things.
Mandeep sir, how important is architectural design in creating functional, aesthetical, sustainable and local heritage?
Sridhar Garu, I think let us understand the beauty of the field of architecture is the concept, the idea which gets transformed into a physical space. The key people who are involved in this, or the key subjects which are involved in this process, architectural design, of course civil engineering, which makes the thing happen. But the conceptualization and the ideation and the thought, it is not just aesthetic, ante it's not just beautiful, చూడటానికి బాగుంటాయి కొన్ని buildings, but it's so functional. So efficiency in design, in this subject it's called as form and function. చూడటానికి బాగుండాలి, functional ఉండాలి. That is actually the crux of the matter. And if designed well, it is said and felt, and now there is data to prove that your energy efficiency will be more in such buildings. But specifically speaking about heritage, you mentioned about that. So there are two ways of looking at it. One is that in cities, because I am an urban planner, I would like to see it at a larger scale. To create a monument, when we say, we always think it's an old monument. But the architecture of today, what we are building, will be the monuments of the future. So it is very important to understand our history, or rather not forget it. But since the society is, and the world is changing all the time, new technology is coming, and modernization has happened. So how to balance this transition by preserving the old, but by also building new? Again, the new buildings with good design of architectural design or engineering design should withstand or stand the test of time for hundreds of years, which the old monuments have done. That's where we have to learn that can we create that kind of, not just buildings. If you look at old bridges or old infrastructure, dams, stark difference is the material has changed drastically. So we may not be able to use the old materials, but somewhere a look and feel can be given. That's where the material design and material science, where new products have come into play, where it's actually steel, but it looks like wood, right? Or the flooring is looking wooden, but it's not wooden. So that's where the architects and architectural design play an important, but that requires a lot of cooperation between architectural design and engineering design. So I feel both the fields are supposed to work very hard on this. Unfortunately, we don't feel that the transition is happening that way, but there are good cases. Let us identify them and also learn from them and incorporate them. But if I'd like to conclude this point, a response to this point of yours, that if you are building, let's say, mass housing, then automatically your element of aesthetics or a heritage or a particular type of image from heritage point of view, it may not be that easy. That's one rough way of explaining this to the audience is that if you find high-rise buildings in Hyderabad, you will find that maybe 60 to 70% will look alike. That gives, but if you look at the globe, also it is like that. So there is a globalization of design. We are under the influence of those powers. So this has a reflection on the output in the real estate industry.
Ashok, pre-COVID, post-COVID, how the communities are changing? What are the differences you are seeing the housing sector? Whether it is apartments or villas, what kind of things have been changed?
Lovely question, Sridhar Garu. I'll have to handle this in two particular dimensions. Okay, let me start from the apartment side first. So in the apartment side, what we started seeing was the requirement for a work from home space. So we had to alter our architectural plans, interior plans, to create a work from home kind of an environment, give them more plug points, give them more switches, give them a place where they could put a desk, give them a sofa cum bed if they want to rest for some time. And something which is soundproof, where you have more dark light or in that particular room so they could sit and work peacefully in that particular place for hours together. The second thing in the same apartment segment we found is that we found customers wanting a lot of walking areas. They wanted much more equipment because people were getting more pulled towards sports or activities where they wanted to increase the number of steps or do more cardio work. So that is one action which I thought. Then they also wanted a lot of seating places in a particular project where the elders would like to come and sit, do some meditation, some kind of a prayer or a pranayam in the morning. That is something which we had seen. And apart from lots of ventilation and open spaces in all the apartments. Then also we saw a small swing towards independent houses. People who could buy, because I'm in that particular area where, we're in this budget kind of a housing, middle income housing. So they wanted to come to my 1.6 crore independent houses that we make. So we saw a swing towards that particular segment. We also have apartments for 60, 70 lakhs and 50 lakhs. So we saw some swing towards the independent houses. People wanted to stay in a more airy place, even if they are away from their houses, because they're all working from home. And they all wanted more reliable internet connectivity and power backup. So we had to have double generator backups. We had to have 4 or 5 different internet operators in each site with redundancy. If this goes, then what? We in fact spoke to some operators who have this power pass system and they don't rely on the amplifiers having their electrical requirements. They have the power pass system. So these were the things that we saw, and most important thing is, I felt is people wanting to meet each other was a little more. They wanted to gather, they wanted to talk around, could be in the morning or the evening when they had time, working out and exercising, more amount of openness and a place where they could work within the unit. Thank you.
Ravi Varma garu, how to minimize the maintenance costs in gated communities? Now, going forward, it's become a
I got the toughest question. How many agree? So when we go to these association meetings, I think if everything goes as per plan, if developer is able to deliver on time, there is a 30% chance that there is a little better harmony. Then the way it is handed over, then the actual thing starts. And in terms of coming back to your question on, one is to understand how many resources are required, because we see in few communities, the moment association takes over, they will say, we don't need so many guys, let's cut it down by 2 or 3 people. Till the time developer maintains it, they would always want everything to be addressed. That's one side of it. Second is in terms of design itself. I think most of the savings happen on design part. Glad that government came out with some GOs very recent where they were allowing developers to construct parkings above. So in commercial spaces, we tried a model where we did 6 levels of parking. Our bill is lowest in that zone when compared to any other building, because our parkings are not lit up in 80% of the times, and we only have one cellar. I might lose as a developer in terms of yield and opportunity to sell more space, but then it is like the operating cost is at least 15-20% lower. That is one. Second, in terms of residential communities, the overall cost, usually I have seen that communities less than 300, 350, if you give a swimming pool because that's how you sell, they can't sustain it, because kind of cost a swimming pool would absorb has to be at least distributed among 700-800 families, unless and until it's a smaller pool. So in design, if developer confidently says we respect water, these are the social infra available nearby, there is a community pool or a nearby club or whatever, this is how we are selling. I have seen few developers sticking on to this rule, and I respect them, because I was initially doing sales. Now at least I have some liberty to design and deliver. But whenever I was doing sales, I respected all those developers, including the gentleman sitting next to me. It is very difficult to stick to your philosophy. You have to let go so many clients when you have to stick to your philosophy. I think lower number of swimming pools for smaller communities, and optimization in terms of cost, in terms of manpower, resources, and ensuring that you have great harmony with the society is the most important thing. Otherwise, the 3% people in every community are the actual heroes. They can take your meeting from any point to any point.
Yeah, I'll just add to what he's saying. So what I would like to add in terms of if savings in a particular maintenance cost was the question, I would say that the associations and the builders should make use of the water scheme, the 20 kiloliters water scheme that the water department has announced for so apartment complex for bulk water supply. So here, normally you would have a bill, if you have like 350, 400 flats, you will have a bill of about 3.5 lakhs approximately. So if you go for the free water supply, then you can save that 3.5 lakhs monthly on the water supply. Two, if you can get all your common areas under the solar network, it comes under solar. So what happens is that you save costs on, because you're pumping the grid back with what you generate, so you can use your terraces for that. So you start saving monies on your lifts and your common electricity and your water pumping also. And the third thing I would say is that you could probably knock off 1 or 2 security if you go for the new boom barriers, which are RFID based, called Perk Plus, or other people, vendors are also there, where you could eliminate one 24/7 guard or 2 12-hour shifts of guards, which is like 40,000 rupees straight away you knock off on that count. And when it comes to housekeeping side, so you have to, normally what happens is that we tend to go overboard. You know, a block may require 5 people, but you'll put 7 or 8. Satisfy the customers. If you sit and optimize it and see, you will find that most of them are just sitting idling away on the steps, or they're sitting in the garden and doing nothing much. Same thing with gardeners. You go overboard on gardeners, you appoint more gardeners, and then you find that, you know, you're spending on that front also. So if you sit and optimize on all these counts, I think that there should be adequate savings, and which the association, the RWA, which you're going to hand over, will appreciate what you're doing, and ultimately, probably, a handover taker process will become far more easier. Thank you.
So to continue with this point, very importantly, so we have to look at the size, as Ravi was saying. So some of the small projects which have less number of units, or small land parcel but we have larger plot size, they're only 20 villas or 50 villas or 100 villas. But for medium and large, definitely the use of energy efficient mechanisms in motors, pumps, or any such thing, including solar, water harvesting. And this requires the active participation, awareness, participation, cooperation between the builder and the RWAs. Just reiterating this point, because this subject has not really moved forward. The rate at which our real estate is growing, and the rate at which the awareness and the formation of RWAs and their understanding and the management of these facilities over a period of time, I think we have to work as NAREDCO and all stakeholders more on this subject.
Yeah,
Hello.
please.
One more point, I think financial side of it, the corpus fund. I think currently, because it's a market practice, everybody just says X percentage or X rupees per square feet. But if bodies like NAREDCO and other things, if they work on understanding what is a scale, a grid kind of a thing, कि इतना association है तो इतना corpus percentage होना चाहिए. Because it is easy to collect it on day one. Associations find it very, very difficult to collect it later on. So builder knows what he has done and what is the operating cost of that asset. So I think square feet maintenance and corpus is some subject NAREDCO and bodies like this should be working on and helping the government create some rule kind of stuff.
Nandip bhai, आपके लिए, what do you suggest the developers? Common amenities, infrastructure, what to give, what not to give? Because, see, to sell our product, we have a lot of things which can be maintained, which cannot be maintained afterwards. Once we hand it over to the housing associations, 50% of the common facilities they will not utilize. But to sell, we'll give it. What do you suggest?
I think this is a very difficult situation for the builders, because the people are also like that. It is a customer-centric problem first. Partly I would put the focus or onus on the builders. For example, when Ravi says that small communities are having swimming pools which are not working after some time, then the customer has an equal responsibility. They went for it and then they fight over it. We know what happens there, right? And some people may not be using the swimming pool at all. These are human issues. So wherever this interface is happening, I feel that consciously on the waterfront, the swimming pools have to be rethought, right? There is a change in the Indian society as we are getting westernized, definitely. It's not that traditionally Indians never swam, but we swam only in village ponds or rivers, and swimming is very natural to human beings. But not to, I mean, just kind of blacklist swimming pool for anything. I have no such views like that. But just, yes, think about the water consumption wherever there is landscaping which requires more water, or any such facility which is like it becomes difficult to sustain. I think the builders need to sit together and think about, because you can create and change the trends. And then maybe because let me just put it in perspective. Sridhar garu, will we get one more round to talk? I want to add some points. Yeah. See, if you look at how this real estate is changed in India, because you're Naredco, I'm saying this. It was just HRA or something, I would have spoken only of Hyderabad. So what has happened to Hyderabad between 1995 to 2000, from 2000 to 2005 and 6, and you know why I'm talking about 2006. Then 2006 to 2010 to 14, 2006 to 8, there was a downturn because of a global, Hyderabad already become global. So global real estate, global finance had started influencing every dimension of real estate in Hyderabad by 2005 and 6. But the global downturn happened. Some things went up and down. But after 2010, and irrespective of the change that this new state was formed, actually there is a massive growth and rate of change is very high. In that, everybody, including the builders or consultants or all the stakeholders, the logistics people, we were ambitious and we want more. We want to develop more. The buyers are also wanting more and the sellers are also wanting to do more. But at some point of time, the associations like Naredco and other associations should sit and talk about how can we improve, at least what is sellable. I mean, you have all right to do the marketing and do, the methods of marketing. But at some point of time, we need to sit, and I'm coming to the common infrastructure and see amenities within the project and what outside. Without taking names of other cities, because I've worked in other cities at large scale, is that you can create as builders wonderful pockets and islands of residential villas or apartments. But what happens when you step out of those? Fortunately, Hyderabad is having better infrastructure than many other cities. But in many cities, including the top 5 in the country, excluding Hyderabad, the external infrastructure is bad or not up to the mark. So I request this point of what facilities to be given and not to be given to kind of rethink on water and energy point of view. Look at it from 2 points of infrastructure that Hyderabad, assuming we are at 1.4 crore, or let's say baseline is 1 crore within GHMC or some region around it. At the average rate, the latest standards are saying the data collected is telling us 700 grams. So we have moved from 350 grams per head, garbage generation to 700 grams. So that means 70 lakh kilos of garbage is generated in Hyderabad every day. I am being very conservative. Now, whose problem is that? It's not the builder's problem. It's not this builder's problem or that builder, somebody's problem. And at average 150 liters, which is very less per capita water supply, so 170 crore liters of water is required to run this city. So let us be a little more conscious and collectively work on trying to redefine the real estate parameters of marketing and attraction, because people are aspirational. People, if not me, my relative would want to buy an apartment which has a swimming pool on the terrace and all. I cannot tell him it's wrong. But yes, we need to rethink. All of us have to rethink on this. Thank you.
What you said is, I agree. It is not only the builders. See, I'll tell you a simple example. If you buy a shirt weight might be 1/4 kg. But the packing, the cover, the inside, the clips, plastic clips, all put together is half kg. You are just going to remove those things and throw in the dustbin. It's not only paper, it's about steel. There are steel clips, plastic clips, and all sort of things, we are generating. I agree. For that. Ashok, I want to tell regarding, one second, once the panel is over, you can ask.
Yeah.
Hyderabad-centric market, what to do? It's very good market. How do we take it forward?
So the Hyderabad market is very good. What we should do to take it forward? Okay. What we need to do for the Hyderabad real estate market, I would say one. Okay, let me take it one from the government perspective. What the government needs to do is they need to actively advertise. They need to propagate the good things that have been done, that they are doing for the citizens of our state. It could be from the farmers to the middle income people, to the HNIs, to the industrialists, who are all coming in, what is new that is happening in our state. They need to daily pump it through the, with media people like Raj News, or it could be with the print media too. So they need to bring in this confidence, or continue this good confidence and this good feeling that the people of our state, of our city have. That is one thing they should do, because that is one thing which is going to push the customers to walk into sites and make their purchase after they have seen the unit. The second thing that I'd like to see is that we need to go and actively market our state, like what we've done in Davos. We've got nearly 1.7 lakh crores of investment. We need to do stuff like that, and those have to actually fructify, or they have to take shape in our city. That is one thing we'd like to see. The third thing I'd like to probably hope the government does is work a little bit more on recarpeting of the roads, work on the electricity reforms, get more substations in, get more water connections, enhance your drainage, so that you have the new areas that are coming up for occupation now. They get more livable and they are easily more marketable that way. So I would probably look at these things. If I've missed one or two points, I would sure Ravi or Maideep would like to add to that.
What you said, Raj News has already started today. It's collaborated with government, developers, and realtors.
Big hand for that. Yeah, big hand for that.
And it's a great start. I'll tell you, Raj News has taken a big, really, in media business, I don't think anyone has thought about state for the development of our city. Our city should progress. For the progress of the city, they have done this fantastic program. And from government side, we have seen the presence of our ministers and officers. It is a great start. I'll really say, today you can note the date, 28th January 2025. After 1 year, let's see where the Raj News has taken our real estate. I can definitely say that
Fantastic.
the kind of crowd today is there. Please go ahead.
So for all those who wants to understand how is the market doing, everybody of us is waiting so that there is some minor correction and we invest. Where will we invest? Will we invest into stock or gold, or we'll pull out some gold out of locker, sell it and buy? No. Our real estate investments are kept aside either in mind or in pocket or in bank or on a loan eligibility. We're just waiting, saying it will correct a little. Nobody has ever made money in stock exchange by timing the market. They have made money by spending time in the market. That's a fact. Same is case with real estate. It has impacted so many lives before us. It will continue impacting. I was really zapped when the NAR core team from India, when they were looking at, the way they look at Hyderabad, we are unable to look at our own selves. I think that's the gap. It's only difference in confidence. End of the day, go back, see yourself in mirror and then ask a question. Okay, if it corrects by 3%, what will you do? You will actually buy back real estate only. So till the time there is a demand hidden, I don't think there's nothing wrong which is going to happen with the market. It's just about another pocket.
Before we close, I just need 2 minutes. So I have a suggestion for Naredco and HRA. Whatever is happening in the market, whatever the social issues are happening in the city and the state or the country, if we want to differentiate Hyderabad, as what Ravi is saying, then we have to be activated. We have to find our own solutions. We may create new benchmarks. One suggestion for all the management, senior people are sitting here, association. Think of either pressurizing or working with the government irrespective of the challenges, to build good infrastructure for the city. Don't put everything on the government. Whether you do it through CSR, create funds or associations, whether it's development of parks, footpaths, or some EV charging stations, or supporting a bus service, or any common infrastructure. That's the time has come where the growth can be sustained when all of us work together. There may be differences of opinion or different paths, intersections, etc. But please get together to ensure that the growth of infrastructure is happening not just based on government's initiative. Yes, the focus is on them. It's their responsibility. The onus is on them. But let us think about ways of how we can ensure that that will sustain our ORR, as you mentioned, was a path breaker and it came way ahead of its time. That's sustaining to a large extent, mobility. Let's think about ways. So that's my request to you, everybody on the stage and in the front rows and in the audience. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful panel. Thank you very much. And I once again